2020 Kia Niro and a 2020 Chevy Bolt. Which one's better? Do we give it to the Kia or do we give it to the Bolt? Let's take a peek at that one. Alright, so I'm going to do a little comparison here on the Kia Niro. This is a 2020 Niro. I have a 2020 Chevy Bolt. And just to get things on an even keel here, the Bolt and this car are really comparable as far as being, apples to oranges kind of thing. They both have a 200 horsepower motor. They both have a 66 kilowatt battery pack. This one, well, both of them are actually classified as mid-size SUVs. They're actually, I would classify this one as mid-size, just barely, and the Bolt is more of a mini SUV or hatchback. I don't know how you would classify it. I guess it would be one or the other or both. So they're small cars. They are smaller cars. They're not like they're more comparable to like a Ford Escape or a Explorer, or like a Ford Explorer, something like that. It's adequate, more than adequate really for size. I'm used to, my last vehicle, actually last two were Cadillac Escalades. So I'm going from like a monster truck to a smaller car. So quite a difference there. But I'm going to try to compare the two different cars. They're both 100% electric, and they have a lot of features that are similar, but then there are advantages from one car to another. I think the Kia here probably holds most of the advantages. This is a more of a premium build, and the Chevy Bolt is more of a standard. So there's a lot of options that the Chevy doesn't have that this does have, but it's really not because of the model or anything like that, or the brand. It's more related to the options that this one has versus what the Chevy Bolt has. So you have to take that into consideration also. We bought this car in July, so about 7 months ago. So we've had it for that long, and the Bolt I've had for about 9 months now. So basically we got them at the same time, roughly. About 30,000 miles on each one of them when we bought them. Right now this one has 39,000, and I think my Bolt is getting close to turning 40,000. So we're running on pace here as far as how many miles and everything else. I checked the battery packs in both of them, and we're showing basically zero degradation at 40,000 miles, and which doesn't surprise me a bit, because reports are coming in with 12% degradation after 400,000 miles. So all the hoopla about batteries is bunk. But we'll talk about, as long as I'm in it and I'm driving, let's talk about the interior and what you can see here. The dash layout, I think, is really well done. The instrument cluster here tells me everything I need to know. It's got the infotainment center here, and it's got Android Auto and the Google, Apple CarPlay. You can do either one, and I've got Android, so it works really good. You get the maps and everything. It does not have maps built into the car, which is awesome, because the built-in ones to me are just a waste of time. They don't update. Google will update, tell you about current road conditions, if there's a speed trap or a car that's stuck on the side of the road and that kind of thing, where the built-in ones, you got to keep updating them, so they're always out of date. I like the Google app, and I really like the Android Auto function, because I listen to Pandora, so I don't have to listen to the radio at all. I don't listen to radio at all, so I don't get all the commercials and all the nonsense you get with radio. So that's a kind of a plus.
Okay, as you can see, the dash is actually pretty well done. The lighting in here is not the best. I'm in my garage, but you get the hint here. And we can bring up the menu here. So we can do a whole bunch of things here. It's got all the infotainment stuff here. Got the radio, media. It's got the Android auto, and Smart Play, all that. This chrome strip is really pretty nice accent. This is a black plastic, pretty shiny. I kind of like that. I think it really adds a little bit of elegance to the dash. The material on the dash is kind of a leather like texture, but it's all plastic. But I like the plastic because it's very easy to keep it clean and everything. And as you can see, the instrument cluster is nice and neat. You've got, controls on the steering wheel and everything. There's a paddle on this side which controls the amount of regen steps, and this actually decreases it on this side. On the Chevy Bolt, the one on this side runs the volume up and down, and this side does the regen. Typical Kia, the volume switches here, and then you've got cruise control on this side, that kind of thing. But very nice, neat interior. It's got a knob for the shifting. You got your heated seat controls here. Knobs, I like the knobs. Very nice layout. So that's kind of a description, basically, the interior and what it looks like. It's very impressive. I'm quite impressed with the looks of the interior. So let's continue with the rest.
About on the car, I think my biggest complaint is the charging door. When you plug the cable in, it locks the cable in place, even if you're home charging, and you have to physically unlock the doors in order to release the cable. That kind of reeks. My Chevy doesn't do that. My Chevy, I just unplug it. So it's an inconvenience. Plus, the door doesn't have any gasket around it, so there's a little covers you gotta slip over the charging ports, which is kind of a pain. So I don't really like that part of it. The latch on the back hatch is a little bit hard to depress. My wife has a lot of trouble trying to get it open. In fact, a lot of times she'll put groceries in the back seat because she can't get the hatch open. So I got to take a look at that. The one on the Chevy works really good, so the Chevy scores a point there as being a little bit easier to use. The heater in here is exceptionally good. Exceptionally good. It heats up real quick. It throws lots of warm air. 20 below zero. We had 12 below zero one day, and this thing was really roasting me out, so it really does a good job. You do lose mileage, or range I should say, due to cold weather and running the heater, so you can expect, realistically, in cold weather I'll lose 50 miles, which seems like a big deal, but it's not. We've never run into an issue where that was really a problem. You can always stop at a fast charger and peak it up a little bit, but we haven't ever had to do that, so it's been good that way. The mirrors on this one is kind of neat. If you lock the car, like if we're going somewhere and it's night, the mirrors fold in when you lock the car. And then as you approach the car, when it detects the fob on you, the mirrors go back out and a light comes on the door handles. My Chevy doesn't do either one of those two things, but that's kind of a neat thing, so you don't have to fumble around with trying to find the handle on the door, which I guess isn't that big a deal, but it's just a nice feature. So I like that. I think I like the looks of the Chevy a little bit better, mainly because it's a nice blue color, and it's kind of a little bit of an eye catcher. Where this car is nice, but it's basically just a car. I mean, it looks like a typical car in a parking lot. It doesn't really stand out. which I guess maybe isn't that big a deal. Like I say, it's a nice car. It's just a plain nice car. It does have accent lighting on the front and the rear that really makes it show up at night, so that's a plus. My Chevy just has standard lighting, so I'll give it a thumb up there. The regen braking on this is mild, and I've got it set that way. You can adjust it. I've got it set on level 1. There's 1, 2, 3, 3 being the most aggressive. But it detects cars in front of you. So if there's a car in front of you and you touch the brake, it's going to apply more regen depending on how close you are to that car. So it actually has some intelligence to it. When you have it in cruise, it does have adaptive cruise. And I gotta stop and replace the battery. So it has adaptive cruise, which is awesome. And it does have lane centering, except I don't use the lane centering because it can be a little bit annoying. It gets a little confused at times. And you can turn it off and then it'll beep when you get close to the outside or inside line. And you can turn that off too. So there's a lot of adjustments that can be done on it. So that's a plus. And like every other car, your phone integrates with the car, so you can do hands-free squawking. That's kind of fun. As far as room goes, it's more than adequate for 2 people. The seats are very comfortable. It's very roomy. Got a nice console up front with the cup holders, and got a little door that slides back and forth to cover this up. The back seat is just fine. You can put 2 adults and an adulteress back there, and it's just fine. And then there's the back space where it actually has a lower underfloor storage area. It does not have a frunk. Underneath the hood is what you would typically see in a gas car, which is all the engine components. It's got the power distribution unit, it's got the inverter, it's got the chargers, it's got all the electronics are under the hood. So it kind of looks like there's a motor there, but it's really just all the electronics. The motor sits way down on the transaxle. So that's nice. Handling wise, it's good. It's really good. Like I say, it drives like a normal car. It is front wheel drive only. So this is single motor. And so is my Chevy. And I like front wheel drive because we live in Minnesota. And front wheel drive is better in snow than rear wheel drive. If you live in a place where it snows, yeah, you don't want rear wheel drive. In general, between the 2 cars, if I'm going to throw out the blanket statement, it's kind of like I had a 99 Honda Valkyrie, which is a 6-cylinder motorcycle, and then I've got the 1800 Goldwing, and I love the Valkyrie. The Valkyrie was just a wonderful machine, but the Goldwing does everything that the Valkyrie did, just a little bit better, and just a little more power. It was just a little bit smoother. Everything was just a little bit better, a little bit better ride. Well, this is kind of like that. When I compare this to the Bolt, this is just a little bit better. It's a little smoother. It's a little bit roomier. Every aspect I look at, this is just a tad better. I would rate the Chevy Bolt as 8 out of 10, and I'd rate this 9 out of 10. So if you're thinking about, getting one or the other, it's pretty close, to tell you the truth. Now, I paid $17,000 for this when I bought it, and then we got the $4,300 tax rebate, and then we traded in our other car, which was a 2017. And I ended up out of pocket $4,000. So I was just elated. It was one fantastic deal. The dealership was from Belzer Auto, and Yeah, they treated us real good. I was real pleased with the dealership. My Chevy I bought from Friendly Fridley, and they were friendly, and they delivered it for free, 50 miles. Good outfit, so I was pleased. I paid $17,000 for that car. So we bought both cars for $34,000. I did not get the tax cut on the Bolt. The dealership evidently didn't participate in that program, and so I'm kind of out. I didn't get anything, and I didn't get it on my taxes either. I don't know why. I tried to file, and it kept kicking it back, saying that the VIN number was wrong, but it wasn't. So I don't know. I really have no idea what was going on there. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So what I would recommend, if you're thinking about, a good, economical, nice car, try the Kia. Give it a whirl. Try the Chevy Bolt. See if it fits your needs. That's the whole thing. The car should fit you. Buy the car for yourself. Don't buy it for... I always tell my kids that. Don't buy a car for someone else. Buy the car for you. If it works for you, buy it. Test drive them. They let you test drive them just like anything else. I think you'll be surprised at how transparent it is driving this. And now I'll mention one other thing. Like the Ford Mustang E, and a lot of the new cars now, you don't get knobs or anything. You get a screen. So you're going through your tablet, trying to turn the heater on and open and close the windows and stuff. This has knobs. I can reach down and turn a knob and the heat goes up. I can turn another knob that regulates the fan. I can adjust the radio up and down there or on the steering wheel. I like the knobs. And by Chevy and this, I'm going to give them both a plus on that because they both have similar controls. To me, that's a big plus. I like the knobs. I just think it's more convenient. I understand from the manufacturing standpoint, it's much easier to do a screen than it is to have all these wiring and stuff for knobs. Just a preference, maybe not a deal killer. It's one of those things. I'm sure if I had a car with a screen, I would get used to it and think it was just marvelous. So, something to think about. And buying a used EV is really a smart move. You get, for instance, this car was 3 years old, and it was 50% cheaper than brand new. And the mileage at 30,000, I could have bought a Chevy Bolt with 7,000 on it or 30,000. I bought the one with 30,000 because I like the dealer better. These things will go 300, 400,000 miles. It's 30,000 miles is nothing. 3 miles or 30,000 miles, it's the same thing, really. So, I guess I would not get all bent out of shape over mileage. I have every reason to believe that both cars will be just fine for many, many years. Battery is still under warranty, 5 more years, 100,000 miles. If anything goes wrong with the battery, it's absolutely free. There is no charge for the battery. Once the warranty goes out, the battery, they're talking another 40% decrease in battery costs because the lithium-ion batteries are actually kind of phasing out. So I think with labor and everything, you're looking at $5,000 to have a new battery put in. And that's down the road 5 years from now, or 10, 15, 20. Like I say, there's cars, Teslas coming in now with 500,000 miles. There's Chevy Bolts with 400,000 miles. And they're doing just fine. So don't listen to, if you want to listen to somebody about electric cars, listen to people like me who own one. Don't listen to Fox News and all the crap that you hear. Listen to owners. It's kind of like if you're buying a car, the salesman's going to give you the pitch. The mechanic is the one you should be talking to, because they work on the things and they'll tell you what a disaster some cars can be. So I'm going to wrap her up here, but that is what I would have to say about my Chevy and my Kia experience. I would say all good. I'm very pleased. In general, I'm very pleased. I will buy another electric car. I will never buy another gasoline car ever. I've had lots and lots and lots of gas cars, and I've paid lots and lots and lots of bills. Engines, transmissions, never ending. These cars, the biggest maintenance you're going to run into, windshield washer fluid. That's it, windshield washer fluid. Major maintenance headache once a year. Anyway, give it some thinking. Give it a shot. Try it out. You know, it pays to be open-minded. It pays to give new technology a shot, because this is the future. It's the present. It is the future. There's no way around it. I don't care what you hear. We're all going to be switching, like it or not. So, that is all I got to say about that, and I will catch you on the next one.